Our good wishes to the respected lecturer Miss N and my dear friends. In this video, we would be discussing about a story with the title Dinner at the End. So for now, I would like to introduce my group members. First of all, I myself, Sri Sonia.
Hi, my name is Krishanti.
Hi, my name is Gayatri.
Hi, my name is Nimisha.
And myself, Harini Rajeshkandan.
And last, I'm Leharan Kumar.
Well, moving on to the first question. Why you like or dislike the reading?
I personally like the reading because the lines are interesting. This is a story about afterlife of a person and how the person is going to live his afterlife.
I also like the story because it was unique and different than anything that I have read. Other than that, I like the story because the story has a good feel.
I also like the reading because it exposes me to the depth of the afterlife. It fascinates me that how the author used the term night shift at the diner as the time period for those without faith come when their time ends. I like that they are given a chance to sit and process what had happened to them.
Next, with me, I even like the storyline because the main character named Martin has really contained many good characteristics where the story impacted me in a great way because of him. And the supporting role is also doing their parts really well in that story.
So guys, from my point of view, I've had never ever read this kind of story in my life. This is my first time I'm reading this story. So from my point of view, this story is full of mystery. Like it is apart from interesting, like afterlife. No one could imagine like what is like afterlife thing in everyone's person. I mean individual life, right? So from this, I could understand like what is afterlife thing, and then what is about death and so on. So yeah.
So I believe I dislike the reading. Why I dislike the reading? Because I personally hate any reading that related to fiction or fantasy. Especially, I don't prefer this story because it explores the theme called death with a little bit mix of fiction. I'm an avid book reader, so I read a lot of books that are non-fiction and self-enrichment. So I detest stories that are fiction or fantasy. Dinner at the End is a work of fiction. Also, the starting of the story had me for 1 second. I mean, who would choose a location like that? A restaurant? So it's not compelling for me. And the author could have done better. It would be a location. So when he speaks about a death, something like that in his story, I think he should choose a location that uninviting or something very dark to read. To add further, the ending also not very appealing for me, and it was very confusing also. So I lost it myself after reading the ending of the story. So I would say would be a poor writing from the author.
So Leharit, can I ask you something? You just mentioned like you have lost your reading while reading this story, right? Can I know what is the reason? Because of the lost interest, or that you are saying like the story is like unrelevant or what?
See, I think a writer's basic characteristic is he should connect the story with the audience. Like when I read the story, I cannot connect with the story. Like I get lost, and the way of the paragraph, the writing, it doesn't impress me. So it's kind of boring in the middle for me.
It's like
That's why.
overall like you couldn't understand that, right?
Yep.
You couldn't understand that flow, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
moving on
find
to the
you
next.
do find it difficult to cope up with the story too. Am I right?
Yep.
So Laren,
Also,
if
I
you
also
also
want.
see,
the genre that the author picked for this story is it's not my cup of tea.
All
So
right.
next one, please.
Laren, actually, I wanted to ask, how
Yep.
can you be so sure that the afterlife is fiction? I mean, we have never
Um,
been dead.
like every person is
Mhm.
opinionated, so I think after like this kind of myths all I usually don't believe. So I don't usually believe in my real life, and also when I study books like this also it doesn't impress me that much.
So you're referring
All
So
right,
yourself
so
as you are just live in the moment. You
Yep.
will just live in the moment, and the future, it just depends on the coming days, whether you're not sure
Yeah.
about it or sure about it.
Yeah, because life is very unpredictable. You cannot simply predict your future, so I think it's better to live in the moment.
Okay, got it.
so if you say there's no afterlife, so what do you think there is after your death?
I'm not sure because I think no one is very sure about that. Like, we have watched films, also books like this, but in real life, I think there's no evidence that
But
people.
majority feels like there is a life after death, right?
Yeah, it's a yeah. Like I said, people are opinionated, so they are like they have their own opinion.
So it
There's
depends
nothing
on their
wrong
own
about it.
opinion and what are their own beliefs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
so
So the
seems
next
like
one,
one
please.
person are not agreeing for fiction. So let's move on to next.
So the second question is explain whether you agree or disagree with the author.
But off, I would say I agree with the author because he created an afterlife story shortly and it was easy to understand. I particularly like the storyline of Martin, which was given according to his age and they even given according to what he's living throughout his life.
I also agree with the author, and it is because the story has a very good flow too.
I
I
also
would
agree with the authors. Humans should be given the choice to live their afterlife. This is because many people never get a chance to live their life freely because they have to follow their family's expectations, etc. Therefore, it will be great if we can choose our life after we are dead. Also, it is for the people who have done a lot of good things in their life, not for the sinners.
I would also agree with the author for the storyline because I'm someone who believes in reincarnation, which means when we leave the world, which means after our death, it is believed that our physical body has died, but not our soul. So we will be remaining as a soul without any body. So when it comes to the storyline, when we read through it, most of the scenes and dialogues takes place after his death. He's talking to the waitress, and I guess that scenario is happening after his death. So it seems to be impressing, and I believe that there's a rebirth for us even after our death.
So guys, for me, I'm clueless a bit because I can't agree or disagree this thing because at the starting I was like, oh wow, this story was like really good. They are talking about everything, but at the middle of the part, sometimes I feel like why does Martin should be died this earlier? Like why should he die this earlier? He should like live his life for a long time, right? So I couldn't agree, but I couldn't disagree too because like the flow is like not that stable. There are a lot of mysterious part in this. So yeah, I couldn't agree or disagree about this thing.
So you are having a mixed opinion in this,
This is
right?
kind of a mix of mystery things in this story.
Yeah, I agree with Harini because Martin has faced a lot of hardships in his life. life, and I think he deserves to live more so that he
Yeah,
could
even
enjoy his family time more.
But we all know there is like no time for when our death are supposed to come, right? So we are like we should accept what it is and move on.
Yes,
See, like
true.
in
What
our group
Gary said
itself,
is true.
yeah, it's like in our group itself, there are one person is not agreeing with like afterlife, so we can't just conclude like it is still like existing or not. We just can't
Yeah,
conclude, like, but this
yeah,
is an interesting part, like afterlife predicting without any existence, predicting our afterlife is like one of the best thing. Even I could like imagine like how will be my afterlife thing after my death. So yeah.
Exactly. That is, it's like kind of interesting when we are thinking about what would we do after our death. Like, will we even still be on this earth or on a different planet or what? It's like
Yes,
actually kind of
exactly.
interesting and fun to even think about it, you know?
I
Yeah,
wish like
yeah.
I can do things after that, like my
So,
Exactly.
would
Like
you
there is
like
like so
to
much of
say
interesting thing, right?
something, Leharan?
yeah. As for me, like you guys have so much of your opinions, and I respect that. So as for me, I disagree with the author because eh, if I want to say it very simple, it's irrelevant and it's not logical. Like Martin was given choices to pick what kind of life he want on his afterlife. So if you want to do that, why would you waste living a life? So um, so basically, I think it's illogical, and the writer should convey the message, like convey the story into a different thing. So that will be more interesting. So this total story, in, I'm quite disagree with the storyline. That's
Leharan,
all.
can I ask you something? What
Yeah.
if like you exist with this afterlife mysterious thing?
Huh? Come again.
What if even you exist with that afterlife thing?
Maybe I'll enjoy it.
Oh,
If
okay.
there is afterlife, I think I will enjoy it.
So yeah, you
I think
won't
we
deny,
should
but then you won't accept
experience.
lah.
Yeah, correct.
Good.
Yeah,
but we
recently,
have the opinion that once we are born, we are stated that we can predict our afterlife. It would be nice that even after our afterlife, we can create many talents. We can brought up many talents into us. And for me, I personally feel like I can predict people's heart easily after my life, after my death, so that I can determine whether when I'm living in the moment, is that true? They're having the same opinion even after my death, so it would be easier to determine. And also sometimes I can be easy invisible. If I'm dead, of course I have my soul, but not the body, so I can go anywhere that I wish. So it would be nice if we are stated with that kind of that kind of statement,
I
if
think
it happens lah.
Shri have read my mind. This visible thing, and that predicting mind is like most of the common things like everyone wish for.
Especially after our death, when it comes to our death, then only we can see the true colors of human being, whether they have.
Imagine seeing our friend betraying, backstabbing behind us, and suddenly talking up, like nice things.
Yeah.
yeah, but one thing that I'm scared of afterlife is we don't know, but either we go to hell or heaven.
It is based on your
It's
karma. If
all
you are good,
depends on exactly. It all depends on our karma and it depends on how much sin we have created in our life right now that we are living. So we
Yes,
can't judge
You
whether
all
we are going to
think
go to the
like this
heaven or to
card,
the hell.
this.
only
You
you
all
know
think
what
like
you
this
did.
heaven. Yeah, fine.
yes, true.
Yeah,
I
correct.
agree with Krisha.
Only you know
When
what
you're
you
loyal
did.
to yourself, then of course,
Yes,
that
exactly.
will be
Guys,
a
guys,
good
guys,
place
guys,
after
guys,
your death.
guys. Guys, you all think like this heaven and hell is like still existing? Like,
Yes, I believe that. Yes,
I
I
also
believe that.
believe that.
So do you think the storyline that has been portrayed is about he is in heaven or he's in hell?
I
I
feel
I
like
think
it's
think it is.
probably it's
hell.
heaven.
I think it is heaven too, because they say there will be a house with garden, a lot of good books. So there is a pure serenity around the house. So I guess
But
it
even
will be
health can
heaven.
offer you good things.
Really?
So, even health can offer you good things
In
because
which
of the
way?
scene
Yeah,
you
we won't
created.
know. Maybe when we go there, we will know.
Exactly. When we go there, maybe we will be facing difficulties. Who knows?
But
Hell
then
might
in the
offer us good
scene, in
things
the
to give
story
us a
at the
bad thing
end,
later on.
but then in the story at the end, Martin is what instructed to wash the dishes. So when you wash the dishes, is that heaven will provide you such
When
kind
you're
of
washing a
facility?
dishes, it means you're clearing your sins. Maybe it can be like that also.
Wow.
Exactly.
Acceptable,
Wow.
acceptable, unexpected answer.
Yeah, but I'm still clueless why Martin doesn't choose the mediocre life. Maybe he wants to experience something new.
Maybe he wants
He
to clear
wants,
his sin and then later on he wants a better life.
But compared to a life in hell, mediocre life is much better for me. You wanted to burn yourself, but burden up yourself more in there compared to your mediocre life. And I feel living in a mediocre porosity, it's nice to live in that way also. As I'm being a mediocre humanity also, so I still support to be in that position rather than to choose more, to go more. And you have to live with what you have in a happiest way, not to expect more. We will get that, but we have to wait with a great patience for that.
Yeah, plus like what I said before this, only Martin knows what he did and what he
Right.
wants.
So let us move on to the next question. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fine.
Okay, the next question would be to identify the author's purpose, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for us to understand that death is a part of life that we can't deny, life is very short. So I should live my life to the fullest right now. And I would even say everyone believes that there is an eternal life that follows after death. So when a person dies, their soul moves on to another world. Death is actually an interesting topic to talk about because it allows us to consider how we feel about different options for end of life career. As we all know, there is like a judgment day, right? So maybe until then, there would be our soul would be still living and learning how to live a life or clear our sins. So once we face the judgment day, then maybe who knows what might happen next.
I agree with Gayu because no one is permanent in this world. So as long as we are alive, we should appreciate our loved ones. So I think the author is trying to say that instead of regretting the time we never spent with our loved ones, just like how much Martin misses his family after his death, I think we should spend more time with our family, get to know each other, have dinner together, etc. If we have a lot of memories with our family, then we will feel like we have lived a fullest life.
Okay, in my opinion, when it comes to the author's purpose, I feel like I got a lesson that if you're being really resilient and if you have a full self-confidence in yourself, no matter how big your difficulty is, at the end you can still get a good solution for it. Because Martin is at in the age of 62, he was infected by cancer, mesothelioma, and it was not a young age for him to battle up with it, but still he was able to get rid of that illness, and he got recovered really in a good way at the age of 67, which was not really a young age. And I feel it has created a great impact to say that age doesn't matter when it comes to your confidence level. So resilience and also trust in yourself lead us in a great way, and we can definitely see a good success in our life if we are having these two personalities in ourselves.